Hello, and welcome to Federal Flash. I'm Nikki McKinney, and I'm joined by Lindsay Dworkin. It may be summertime, but there has been no summer vacation for education policy. On Tuesday of last week, the House Education Committee held a hearing titled ESSA Implementation, Exploring State and Local Reform Efforts, in which the Alliance's own Philip Lovell testified. For an overview of how the hearing went, we'll turn to Lindsay.
Last week's hearing discussed the new flexibilities, opportunities, and challenges facing educators as they implement ESSA. In particular, the witnesses expressed concerns with the proposed education funding cuts and the negative impact these cuts would have on states, districts, and schools. Here's what Philip had to say about the issue in his opening statement.
Finally, I join my colleagues in expressing concerns about funding. Money is not magic, but I'm concerned about the impact of funding cuts on ESSA. ESSA provides states with flexibility and responsibility. But, Madam Chair, responsibility without resources will not yield results.
The hearing was well attended by members, and there was interest from both Democrats and Republicans in hearing from Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos about the implementation of ESSA. Some committee members noted that Secretary DeVos is several months into her job but has still not appeared before the committee. There were also a number of questions from Democrats about the provisions that support equity within the law and what states are proposing in their plans for how to meet those requirements. For example, Representative Alma Adams from North Carolina reiterated a point Philip made in his testimony about how ESSA is fundamentally a civil rights law and asked how states are defining and identifying consistently underperforming student subgroups for support and improvement. Here was Philip's response.
If we're not identifying kids who are continually underperforming, then what are we here for? And if we're not supporting them, then we're certainly not doing our jobs. A number of states have proposed ways to do this that ensure that if a student is not performing at grade level in math or reading, or if there are low graduation rates, those children are identified and something will happen as a result of it. They'll receive some sort of support. Unfortunately, a number of states are also putting together these sort of indexes where you're including a whole bunch of different factors to determine whether a kid is still performing or not. And what we're concerned about is that if you are performing well in one area, that might mask if you're performing less well in another area. And so when you combine all these things together, you come up with not a whole lot that's actually usable. So we want to be sure that states have the flexibility to, as I believe is being proposed in Mississippi, to look at if you're performing at grade level in math or reading. If you're not, then you should be able to receive targeted support. You need to look at each indicator in the system, but you don't have to fail on all of them in order to receive support.
For more information about the committee hearing and to watch it in its entirety, visit the link below. Last week, the Alliance for Excellent Education, National Conference of State Legislators, and National Association of State Boards of Education convened state legislators, state education board chairs, state education agency leaders, and governors' education advisors to discuss the status of the implementation of ESSA in states. The event, held in New Orleans, featured former U.S. Secretary of Education John King, Alliance President Bob Wise, Louisiana State Superintendent of Education John White, and many others. To access archived video from the event, visit the Alliance's Facebook page at facebook.com/allfored. Finally, an update on Congress's progress on education funding. Last week, the House Appropriations Committee considered a bill to fund the Department of Education in fiscal year 2018. The bill passed along party lines with no Democrats voting for it. The bill cut funding for the Department of Education by $2.4 billion, and cuts to professional development for teachers and leaders accounted for $2 billion of that amount. Democrats offered a dozen amendments to restore funding to different education programs, all of which were rejected. The full House could vote on the bill this week as part of a larger legislative package that will combine several appropriations bills into a single measure. Key to remember is that this is not the final funding bill for the Department of Education. The Senate will also draft its own bill, and the final bill funding the department will ultimately require bipartisan support from both chambers to become law. That's all for now. For an email alert when the next episode of Federal Flash is available, email us at alliance@allfored.org. Thanks for watching. Federal Flash is the Alliance for Excellent Education's video series on important developments in education policy in Washington, D.C. in 5 minutes or less.